Hi Penguin class. So for this video we are going to be focusing on numbers and counting. So I have all the numbers 1 through 10 up on the board, so we're going to count along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in Spanish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in sign language. So those are the different ways that we use our numbers and practice counting. We do a lot of counting with our numbers in English, Spanish, and sign language when we're doing our bell ringing or singing our counting song, letting us know how many more minutes we have left to do something before we transition and ring the bell into another thing. So there's a few different ways that you can talk about numbers and use numbers. Do simple things, just practice counting, just using the words. You can have objects in front of you. Say you have 3 cars. That's all you have at home. Maybe it's 3 cars. You can practice putting them in front. 1, 2, 3. You can count like that using different objects. It gives them a little easier way of visualizing and seeing it. Other things we do, we have other number cards with them. Maybe number 1 has 1 basketball, 2 is 2 crayons, 3 is 3 pairs of shoes, different things, so that way they can visualize it and count on the poster to see how many. So one of the different activities that we've done in the past with the kids is we put the numbers up on the board and we've had them pick different magnet numbers as well, and that way it gives them another opportunity to see what is the same, what number do they have, where does it fall in the order of 1 to 10, and another way for them to make a match. So different things you can do is just have different numbers written above. I would normally have everybody come up, take a turn, find their number match. Say it was my turn for number 2, I had to find the number 2, pick it up and make a match with it right underneath, so that way they can see that it is the same and it is a match, which is the goal too for counting. And that way they learn the order of the numbers as well. And something you can do with that is, say you had number 1 up, so then you would say, okay, what comes after 1? 1. And then you'd kind of wait to see, would anybody know that 2 comes next? And then if all the kids have their own different cards in their hand or their own different numbers, oh, look around, who has number 2? And you would show them the visual and see if they could find the match. Another way we work with numbers besides counting around the classroom and making matches is we have these different little number boxes. They have the number on front and then they have the value on the back. So there's 1 circle here. It also has 1 blue dolphin inside. Same with 2, there's the number and the value on the back. That way they can count visually 1, 2, and they'll know, oh, I should have 2 things in my bucket. 1, 2. So that's another way that they can do number matching as well. If you don't have buckets with numbers on them, you could just make your own very quickly to write the numbers on it. Or like I said, if your child's really interested in cars or animals, you could have that. Can you find a match, or can you find 1? Can you count out 2 more cars, count out 3 more cars, simple things like that. Just to get them, again, repeating the numbers. You want them to repeat it as much as possible, that way they'll remember it, and then you can see, can they count on their own 1 to 10. You might have to start. Sometimes we say 1, and then we say 2, and then our voices get quieter because the kids know what number comes next, and that's another way for them to remember. If you repeat it enough times, that way they can start counting on their own, and you'll hear them throughout the day counting slowly on their own, because they do that, and they're very good at that as well, because they do remember it. The more you use it, the more they're going to remember it. There would also be other things, say if the kids had the cards in their hands, similar to having them match, we would say, let's count. Who has number 1? Number 1 comes stand up, and they would come stand up. Oh, what comes next? 1, 2, 2. Who look around? Who has card number 2? Can number 2 come stand next to number 1? You come after number 1. Just simple things like that to get their brains working, to get them counting. They understand the order of things. Sometimes when it's time to clean up the cards, we'll say, okay, who has number 1? Number 1, come bring your card, put it up on the board. Number 2, who has number 2, come bring your card and put it up on the board. So that way they're getting to do the same thing over and over again, more repetition. So this is one of the similar activities that we've done during circle time before for the kids. We've had them, we've had the number cards appear, and we've given them all random a number, a magnet number, and that way when we go down the line, whose turn is it? Do you have a match? Can you see the match? Do you have that number? Come put it up with your match. So that way, again, they're matching, they're counting, they're understanding the order of everything. So just practicing counting throughout the day. If you have different materials, you know, taking them out and just doing like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 orange fish. Something very simple like that, just to let them visualize and see the number value of the number that they're counting or they're looking for. It's the same, you could have them go on a hunt, and maybe you're focusing on number 2. Oh, you know, can you go around the house and can you find 2 books, or can you find 2 blocks? Can you find 2 cars? And that way they're practicing counting and they're hunting and they're looking for something specific as well.